Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new edition of our EK and Tent Talk, our second episode of the show. We are here at Musselman Honda Circuit. Again, as I said, for our second episode, Gary Carlton joining me here from GFC. David Cole, back at it once again. We are getting set to go. I'm turning my mic off.
Yeah.
A new one. It's cold. It is significantly colder than it was when we were in Florida for episode one.
This is not Florida weather, although we did have a lot of sun today, so that was good.
That's
lot of sun kept us a little bit warm, but the wind was ferocious, just terrible. I mean, it was 20 to 30 to maybe even 40 miles an hour.
It's crazy.
And again, when you're in Tucson, you want no wind, and unfortunately today we had the wind,
It
so
always
that's
happens.
the downside.
For those of you tuning in, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Those of you tuning in live, if you are live on Facebook or on YouTube, feel free to drop any questions you may have in the comments. We'll maybe bring those out to Gary. Again, here at GFC Karting tonight for our tent talk, the opening round of the Challenge of the Americas here in Tucson, Arizona. Guests lining up. Sonny Cervelli is going to join us, Kyle Wick, and potentially Jake Drew as well. Again, we don't want to go too late here. These guys are working like crazy. You can see they're thrashing away behind us. Gary, let's start with you, man. It's the challenge. I'm calling the action. I'm calling all the practice. There are a lot of GFCs running up and down the paddock here in our hot pit session, man. You got a great contingent here this weekend.
Yeah, I think between.
Put it a little closer. There you go. Yeah.
What do I do with my hands? Right? No, it's been good. We obviously have a solid contingent between Formula Works and myself. I think we have upwards of 21 drivers this weekend. So, I mean, when we started the challenge series, I think we had a total of 5.
Isn't that crazy?
We grow every year, and it's hard work. I mean, again, I think my team enough. My guys have been working hard over the over the winter. I mean, we haven't taken any days off, and bringing out the new models with the tag and the shifter has been a lot of work, obviously, and then obviously with the shipping delays and everything else, the push to get to this race was massive. So I'm really happy how things are going, because unfortunately we were only be able to do one shakedown day before we got here. So
with the new equipment.
So it was. I mean, we came here with a lot of updates. Obviously the new carts have a lot of updates. We didn't even have time to list them and photo them and get all that. That's going to be our project when we get back. But really, really happy with everything. How we've seen now. I mean, literally the last couple of days, we've just been kind of going through the motions of not necessarily trying to maximize for this track, but just go through the motions of make sure the things do what they should do. And then now today was actually the first day. Okay, now let's go and do what we normally do and try to maximize everything for this particular track.
You did a little bit of testing at Sonoma, right?
No, we've been testing in Sonoma. It was all the old material.
Okay.
We had one day at Dixon, and literally just shake it down, make sure the brakes worked, and throw it back in the van, and we headed down.
That's crazy.
So
timing wise, because getting the carts here.
I mean, granted, we've been testing a lot of the different pieces throughout the last 3 years, but this is the first time we've had all the pieces all at once.
Yeah.
So I mean, naturally, we're a small company. When I make prototype pieces, I make one.
Yeah.
So, and then some of the prototype pieces, would fail or not fail. So like I said, this is the first weekend, the first time we've had all the pieces at once with the new models. And luckily we've had no issues so far, and it's been going quite well.
And Gary and I have talked about it, folks. So those of you who are obviously follow us in eKartingNews.com, we're going to put together kind of an article that kind of goes over an overview of all the stuff, all the new components, all the adjustments, the evolution of the GFC chassis. One of them, of course, not about not about speed, not about performance, more just about the look. You guys have kind of branded a new, you can see the carts behind us right now. You'll see them throughout the weekend. A little new graphic package on the cars as well.
Yeah, Howie Addison helped me out. I wanted to do something a little bit more aggressive, a little bit different. Obviously, we stuck with the black and white, and still, kind of more on one side black, more on one side white. Took away the grays and stuff. I wanted to make it a little bit more bold. And then also this year we partnered with Freem, so they're going to be doing our clothes, our suits. We saw Jake Drew wearing that in Vegas last year. Just a little bit more bold look, different look, and I'm really pleased how it turned out.
One thing I want to bring up, obviously, those are people that maybe don't follow GFC on social media. You should do that on all the different platforms, because you guys do a great job on social. But it shows how much you guys are at the racetrack, right? And I think that driver development has been at kind of the core of what you do. When you and I did our Book It podcast, where we kind of took a deep dive into your career, it's all about that driver development. You got some great drivers in the shifter car categories, but you look down at your micro and your minis, you see them start to develop. And I think that's one of the things that when you're testing, you're out there, you're with these kids all the time. It's all about education and development.
Yeah, I think we have a little bit different approach to our driver development program also, in the sense of course, we help them with the lines, the driving styles and everything like that. But a lot of times we go to the track, we help our drivers understand their material, because I believe that was my biggest reason of success during my career, was understanding my material when I worked at Tech Magic, building this stuff, and then going over to Europe and helping develop the go-karts, and obviously being able to do what I'm doing now. And why not have the same method?
If it worked for you, bring it into your ethos.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's the one thing we work on with our kids. So naturally that takes a lot of time. And I'm the type of guy, I have a process, and we don't stop until we finish the process. I don't deviate from it. I don't, okay, you guys are tired. We haven't done the last one. It's like, no, we're staying.
We have a plan.
No, we're going to stay at the track, and I don't care if you're tired, because I'm tired too. But
it's going to pay off when we get to the racetrack.
And the more educated you are, the better, really, in anything that you do, whether it be racing, whether it be what you're going to do as a career or anything like that. You want to be more educated into actually what's going on, because, we see a lot of times where these kids just jump in and go, and they don't do anything the whole weekend. And they do that their entire career. And then they turn 21 and they're like, what do I do now? Do you think that it's kind of the method? You want to see these kids not only succeed on the racetrack, but even off the racetrack as well too?
100%. I mean, obviously karting is a stepping stone to maybe future in motorsports, or someone that wants to be a Kyle Wick, a Hunter Pickett, and everything, where you're going to need a company like myself is going to need to help develop a kart.
Right.
So even if you're going into a higher echelon of motorsports, I mean, you're going to be able to talk to engineers and have to know what you're talking about. Not just I drive fast and hopefully you make the cart fast for me. And then if you're a lifelong cutter like myself, or like a Kyle, like Jake Drew and all these, well, I guess Jake Drew trying to go to cars, but
he's doing a good job.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. And then, you need to know, I guess if you take 5 drivers and take 3 are fast and then 2 are the same speed, but know how to set up a car.
Right.
Every race team is going to be taking
it's 100%. They're going to need those guys.
Yeah, it's almost like the Ryan Newman type mentality, or even the Peyton Mannings or Drew Brees, who really do their homework. Yeah, it's all about the process.
We got lots of guests lined up, and Gary, I know you have to go back to work. One thing I want to bring out today is the challenge has always been a great place for you guys. You've had a lot of success here. Swept the shifter kart podium at one point, and I know that shifter kart racing is a big part of what you guys do. It's part of your brand, but I know that you have a lot of pride when you see GFC guys in the 100cc categories and the cadet classes. You see them up there, because I know it's important to you for GFC to be shown as a brand that has top quality material from top to bottom.
100%, and I think that's why you always see us at the track. I mean, we're not just developing one kart; we're developing 3, right? So, three different models, 3 different, completely different spectrums of how go-karts work. And working with younger drivers is extremely difficult because they don't have the experience. So sometimes you have to be at the track more with those, and go through those processes. And that's the one thing I set out to do with this brand, is I don't want to just have one category be fast.
Right.
I want all 3, because if a dealer comes to me and wants to have a full range, I wanted to be able to give them 3 karts that are fast in every category, because it's going to make it a lot easier for them, because we all know there's only a certain amount in the shifter kart market, there's only a certain amount on a tag market, there's only a certain amount on a cadet market. If you only have one that works, you're going to be stuck with that one.
And you want the kids to come into your brand early, right?
Yeah, and that's just the thing. If you can start with one brand, and as you progress, that the next step is to where you want to be, and you have a competitive product, why leave?
Yeah.
Well, Gary, thanks for joining us, buddy. I know you got work to do. We've got more guys to bring in here. Folks, don't go anywhere here on Tent Talk. We're going to bring a new guest in. I think Sonny Cervelli, is going to join us next. Kyle Wick's lined up. Jake Drew's lined up as well. More to come here on the Tent Talk. Winning takes top quality equipment, flawless preparation, experienced coaching, and passion. And at Team GFC, we live our passion. Developed by American karting champion Gary Carlton, the GFC chassis has become one of the newest brands to reach the top of the podium in North America. GFC has garnered victories and championships at all levels of the sport since its debut at the end of 2018. Shifter car drivers are at the front of the field running the GFC GT14 frame, and the SS31 has become a top contender in tag and 100cc competition. Team GFC has arrive and drive packages available for all categories, including the mini and micro classes, utilizing the GFC RR5 cadet chassis. These young pilots have the opportunity to be part of the Team GFC Young Driver Development Program. Learn from one of the best American karters with over 25 years racing at the highest levels of the sport, offering personalized training on and off the track. Follow GFC Karting on Facebook and Instagram, or click over to gfckarting.com to learn more about joining the Team GFC crew in 2022. GFC, live your passion. Folks, welcome back to the Tent Talk here. We're at GFC Karting, Musselman Honda Circuit in Tucson, Arizona for the opening round of the Challenge of the Americas. It is not Florida where we started the season off. It was nice and warm there, sunny. Trust me, it was warm there. Chilly in the morning, a little bit easier in the middle of the day, but man, the wind was crazy today.
Yeah, wind today was definitely crazy. The last couple of days here, honestly, have been nice. That was not the Tucson I remember coming here for the last 10 years, always for Challenge.
Yeah.
Even Challenge is so early in the year. I've always remembered it being such a cold race. So last couple of days, everyone's like, man, we really like it here. This is nice. I'm like, I think the wind's coming. So, yeah.
Listen, I talked to Gary. We did our Book It podcast with him to talk about his career. He was very complimentary on bringing you on board. Obviously, to have, I can say this because I've had David Cole with me for 17 years, you have to have the right people around you. For those who don't know about you and what you do at GFC, let's take the opportunity to kind of go over your role for what you do to see that there's a lot of people that are quality people with a lot of experience here at this program.
Yeah, I actually started with Gary in the GFC card as a driver of his, a customer of his. Worked with him for a while and slowly kind of merged into a mechanic within the team. And I kind of became the guy that always be there to help him load up, always at the shop to help him. And finally, when my previous thing kind of started to fall through a bit, Gary had an opportunity for me to come and work full-time with him.
Yeah.
Obvious for me, it's a dream come true. I mean, I think Gary's got the most experience out of anyone in the United States. So for me to work with him and learn from him is everything. And really my role as director of operations is just really to make sure everything in between chassis performance, getting everyone to the track, making sure the customers are happy, planning for races, cleaning, maintaining everything. I kind of just go wherever I need to get stuff done, really.
And Gary brought up the fact that when he first got here, they had 5 drivers here for the first challenge as GFC. How many guys do you have actually under the tent? I know we got Formula Works here as well. You've got one of your dealers here. This is the big GFC operation.
Yeah, it's funny. We've got 2 lineas now and all the pop-up tents. And when we first started, we used to just set up 1 linea and we'd have 3 or 4 guys. Yeah. And then it was the first race when we had 6 drivers. We're like, oh, well, we have to set up both lineas, right? We're like, oh, well, we'll keep all the tent parts separate because we'll probably just be setting up 1 again next year. And ever since we set up 2 lineas, we've never gone back.
Wow.
Now we've got easy ups in the back. And this weekend we have 20 drivers. Rock the Rio was our biggest. We had 24 drivers. Ooh. On average, even at Sonoma Club races now, we have 12, 16 drivers. So it's blowing up for us.
So, Gary's obviously like, I want results. I really want to see race wins. You as kind of a director of operations, you're more like, I want to make sure everything goes smoothly, right? I'm sure you have a lot of feel, but I want the guys on the podium. But if everybody gets through a weekend cleanly and it's run right, I know it's kind of the operational side of it, right? A win for you isn't always a win on the racetrack as long as you guys have had a really good weekend in terms of operationally.
Yeah, of course. I mean, honestly, like in our 100cc junior category this weekend, we have 5 drivers.
That's crazy.
So for us, right, we're always gunning to push for the equipment to be there to win. But some of our drivers are learning, and so for us, it's just making sure. Yeah. And me personally, my goal is just to always see all 5 of those drivers as far up as I can. Sure, the win's great, but in my opinion, with a brand and a chassis manufacturer, if we can have 5 guys in the top 10, that looks just as good.
Exactly. So I got to know. I almost want to think Gary is the bad cop and you're the good cop. Is that kind of how it works with, especially the junior drivers, right? Gary's like, you must go fast, and you're like, all right, you made improvements. Let's get a little better. Is that kind of how you would do? Is it good cop, bad cop?
I mean, Gary's definitely more blunt. Gary's definitely intense, right? When it comes to performance and everything.
Sure.
Drivers. So we talk about the new livery. There's the white and the black. Yeah. Gary should be in a black jacket. Sonny should be in a white jacket.
There you go.
That could work. If I could keep the white jacket clean.
That's true. Trying to keep one clean.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gary's definitely always very result-driven, very speed-driven, everything. And as he has to be, right? He's not just a racing team. He designs this chassis and everything. And his work at the track and in the shop and everything is direct reflection of our performance, in my opinion. So, I definitely sit there and coach a lot of the junior drivers and a lot of the mini drivers and the 100cc drivers for sure. Try to get them all quicker. And when it comes to performance of the shifter cart and the tag cart, Gary's there all the time making sure it's the top.
For me, it's really cool because I called a lot of your races when you were coming up through the ranks, and to see you mature into this position, I think it's fantastic. Gary had to leave. I know that we didn't want to hold him for too long. A lot of white and black here. There's a little bit of black and yellow as well. You want to talk a little bit about the Track Magic program? We're going to be bringing Kyle Wick in here in a second. It's obviously a legendary brand in the sport, kind of connected. Gary, of course, had a long history, actually a short but impressive history with the Track Magic program. As a director of operations, how do you kind of juggle both the brands underneath the GFC banner?
Honestly, it's quite simple. It's all the exact same material, just a different color.
Okay.
So there's not much different there. And then in reality, I mean, we treat everyone with the same, there's nothing about GFC coming before Track Magic, anything like that. For us, driver wins on a Track Magic. Everyone in the pits knows what the material is, where it's coming from, who's working with them. So in all, it's great. I mean, it's cool to have the brand back. When I first started, they were still around, but honestly, when I would go to these the Track Magic rallies, I had no idea the following fans of the group, and just seeing 30 of the old karts from the 90s and everyone out there, it's amazing, really cool. Right? Yeah. You see it on the social media, right? Whenever there's a picture of Kyle or Cole Schrader or any of these guys pop up, there's all the guys always commenting and I love it, right?
That's awesome. Yeah. Cool thing is that, obviously, what the things I love about the racing is I love the vibe in the tent after races. Like, we're done for the day, but you guys have such a badass vibe. Everybody's working away on karts. Is that kind of part of the GFC, that culture you guys have?
100%. I wouldn't say it's just working harder. We love to work smarter too, but we bring the table, we bring all the data, we bring everything, and we maximize our time to the track. We're definitely a team where we love to get back and have dinners and bond with everyone. But first things first is we always make sure the go-karts are 100%. No one leaves early. Everyone preps. I mean, we keep the go-karts maximum potential. It's always a push for us.
Sonny, thanks for joining us, buddy. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for having me, guys.
Time to talk to a couple of drivers, folks. We're having a little quick break here, like maybe 2 seconds. The driver's right here. Let's bring him in right now. We'll get Kyle Wick to come in and join us here. Sonny, you can pass over the mic. I thought you were going to run that. Just at least the.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That's all right. I thought you were just going to run that. I love it. I'm not going to read it again. Let's bring it in. Folks, underneath this beautiful toque right now, this I call it Canadian toque, is a coif of hair that needs to get cut. But we got him up. Look at Kyle Wick looking good, right? How you doing, man?
I'm good.
How was your day?
It was pretty good.
You were fast.
Yeah,
a little closer. There you go.
It was pretty good all day. We just keep working at it. As Gary said, we've been working on the new equipment, getting used to it, seeing how it reacts. So now, today, we're finally just focusing on what we need for this track.
And let's focus on that. Let's jump with you on that, because obviously you've been a national level driver, national championships the last couple of years. You get new equipment. You obviously got the material. It's kind of late, I guess, but it's still, January
it's still
right
January.
now.
We were a month away from the Vegas, from Supernats.
Yeah,
it's been a quick kind of turnaround.
It's been a quick turnaround. You jump into new equipment, though, right?
Yep.
Significantly different. Give me your thoughts on it. Did it hit the sweet spot you liked? You were really good today.
Yeah, for this tire compound and the softer tire compound compared to the Bridgestone, it's an improvement for us. Yeah. And obviously what they had on the Bridgestone was amazing. But with the Levano, it was good always. Yeah. But there was a few things that we wanted different. So we have the few things we wanted different now. And hopefully it's better.
How do you feel? You've been at the top of this game for a while. You throw the big names out there, and you're in that group, right? You throw the Danny Formals, the Billy Musgraves, the AJ Myers, the Jake Frenches, Kyle Wicks, and that. I remember you coming up through the ranks. What's it feel like now being, among that elite, handful of guys?
I mean, I don't really think about it like that. It's just, what do we need to do to go win this week?
Yeah.
And
You know what a lot of those guys don't do? None of those guys don't do? They don't drive dirt.
I was just going to say.
Driving a limited
I was just going to say, if we had to put money down on a dirt race, my money would be on
Is there a BK coming up?
Not that I'm aware of.
Are you going to do any more unlimited racing? Dude, that's so cool.
I have a new kart sitting in the box and a new engine that we built, because last time out, we threw a rod through the carburetor in qualifying and ended up winning, but
for those of you who are hooked up, you guys are sprint karters. That's all you guys do. Dave, we talk about road racing a lot, but there is a thing called dirt karting as well. I've covered it for many, many years. Unlimited dirt karting is like Formula One on steroids for karting. It's ridiculous. There's more horsepower than you could possibly put down on the dirt. Wedge bodies. I know it's getting away from the Gary thing, but this is cool. Why do you do that? Why? You guys are up in Auburn. I know it's great up in the Pacific Northwest. Why do you do it?
So when my longtime engine builder was Mike Collins, and he always wanted to build, because it's fun. Yeah, he gets to do
unlimited deal, right?
He gets to do whatever he wants and experiment with it, and we get to go race these things, and he does stuff different. Most of the people are running 450 4 strokes,
Yeah.
and we're running 250 and 275 2 strokes, and we're running them on alcohol with dual carbs. And
Yeah,
It's
it's,
crazy.
that's the proper
Google
way
it,
to
folks.
do it.
Google it.
You know,
What was it? What's the B? Was it BK? It's the
yeah,
what's it? Booty Kinzer, I think.
yes,
Right, Booty Kinzer,
yeah.
right?
Dad says
it's
yes.
up at Salem. I think it's indoor in Salem. Google it. It's unlimited karting. It's ridiculous. It's like flying like fighter jets in an arena.
yeah. It's like
The gymnasium.
your shifter cart's slow. Like last time I was out there and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go drive a few laps, and I was like, what's wrong with this thing? Is it working? I guess this
It's
is
awesome.
just
It's-
it.
no, it's like the chili bowl, but
Yeah, that's
bigger.
exactly what
Yeah.
it is. That's exactly what it is. So we look forward to this year. Tell us what you're going to be doing with GFC. Obviously, you're on the track magic. You're running those iconic yellow and black colors. What's in your plan for this year?
The main focus is going to be the Pro Tour this year.
Okay.
We want to show up and
You wanna
perform
win
this
that,
year.
do
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a bit disappointed with how it went last
Okay.
year, and we just want to.
What are you
Well,
going to
but-
work? What are you going to work on?
I was gonna say, to be honest, you didn't run the full season last year. You should.
Yeah.
I think you guys just ran summer nationals. So
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, one race, it's kind of hard to project how you did well. But I think overall, I think you came out. You're defending challenge champion, so you have that that moniker. You've already won a Pro Tour championship, so you just want to go get a second. You want to kind of get a second challenge and a second Pro Tour.
Yeah. The challenge, I think we're not going to do the whole championship because with Pro Tour being the priority, we're going to go test in NOLA because they overlap and there's not enough time to get from Sonoma to NOLA
all the way to NOLA.
logistically.
Okay.
What if you win both races?
Maybe we'll have to go to Phoenix and win both there.
Sorry.
No, you got to think about that though. If you were to win at least 2 of the 4 races in the challenge, I mean, there's a nice plane ticket from Sonoma to NOLA, and everybody else can bring this stuff out there.
True.
Yeah.
That's very true.
I mean, it's not like you've never been to NOLA.
No, we've been there.
So I'm just putting it in your ear right now. So think about, for mom and dad to think about, a little bit.
You excited for the year though? Let's wrap with that.
I'm excited for the year.
Right on.
I think working with Gary and Track Magic, we can perform really well.
Nice. Well, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
There he is, folks. Kyle Wick joining us here. He'll run the Track Magic number 409 this weekend. One more guy to bring in here. He's been hanging by the wayside. He was a pole sitter at the Super Nationals. Let's bring the shoe Jake Drew in here right now. Let's crank the mic up for him. You've done enough interviews and all your NASCAR stuff now to keep that mic close to you so you get to understand it. So let's not even talk karting right now.
Yeah, let's go right into it.
Let's go straight to your ARCA car. You got a chance to drive at the Daytona International Speedway in the ARCA car. How was that?
That was pretty wild, to say the least. First of all, going out there, how often do you get in something new and the first thing you do is go wide open in the next turn as soon as straight out of the gate? So
oh my God,
that was definitely tricky on the mind. Like, okay, I'm just gonna go wide open into 3 and 4th gear. And
well, because you've never driven a stock car like that, have you? Where you've been at a racetrack where you can be flat out around the entire racetrack?
definitely not flat.
No.
Phoenix is pretty fast, but you're on the edge quite a bit there. So that was a huge change.
How did it feel? Was it like? Is it like you just like
It
making
could be
you
like
want to come back?
Is it like a Yamaha box, super box, where you just?
No, I mean it's definitely something special going speeds like that. I think I averaged just under 180 miles an hour on my best lap. So you give a little window to that, maybe 183 or so. But the banking was just insane at first. I mean, the biggest thing to overcome was how little you're really on the wheel. Like, just you can barely touch the wheel.
That's
at
what I
all.
wanted to ask about, because like you have watched countless 500s, right? And then you go to the track for. I've been there for sprint, for WK. You figure the track is so much more wide.
It's
you
not.
See it, this is not a wide.
It's
racetrack.
narrow.
How much does the car move around? That's really what I wanted to kind of ask about.
So by yourself, really not too much, but they did end up actually throwing me in a pack right dead middle of the pack, and I was a couple 3 wide moments, couple guys outside side drafting, and it's moving you around a ton. Like, you're really got to be on the wheel and be reactive to what's going on. Craziest thing was never actually made contact with the car, but hearing the spotter, calling the cars behind you, 3 back, 2 back. As soon as you hear one, you feel that air just immediately start to push you. Like, they don't even need to connect. It was incredible to experience.
Coming back to the GFC and the karting thing, this is the cool thing, because I've been doing this for a long time, and I talk to a lot about drivers that are working their way into the road to Indy and are still karting, right? That's that connection between open wheel racing and karting. not many times do I get to talk to a guy that's really kind of working his way up through the NASCAR ranks and stock car stuff. Before we jump into what you're doing with Gary, what can we expect from you this year in ARCA? You have a program put together?
Yeah, so I'm gonna come back to the West Series. I'm gonna be with Sunrise Ford Racing again with Bob Brancotti. I'm gonna switch over to the 6 team. All the equipment is great. Everybody works hard on the whole entire organization, the team. But going to be switching crew chiefs and kind of change the program up a little bit. But it's going to be pretty simpler, keeping the same cars from last year and everything like that. But just going to take everything I got to learn last year and apply that. And now I'm not the rookie coming in, and I'm not learning 7 tracks, right? I'm only learning 1, and there's a couple new guys. So hopefully I can take that experience and really capitalize on it.
And you made the impact last year, right? People were talking about you. I was at Portland. You got totally screwed by the yellow flag. You were smoking everybody. Yeah. I'm like, I know this guy's going to win the race. This is the best. And then a yellow flag comes out and you get hosed. It's a basic NASCAR run into the festival. You'll be the guy coming back. So I love that. Good. Hopefully you end up with the championship. You win that. You know that things are going to work for you.
Sure.
Let's come back to karting. You're still here.
Yes.
Let's first talk about Super Nationals, man. That was pretty big. You end up putting the GFC on the pole on X30 Senior. Man, big.
That was a huge achievement, not only for myself, but the whole team. What a feeling to start on pole every heat race with so many notable drivers in that field. It was incredible. I've always wanted to be. That's why I still come back to karting. It's like it just keeps drawing me back. I want to be the best of the best all the time, no matter what. So to come back and prove that was super cool, and I'm super thankful for the opportunity from Tony and Gary and everybody.
How did the main event unfold? Because it seemed like a wild main event. There was probably 7 drivers that were in the mix there.
For sure, yeah. And I knew every heat race it was like right on the money. Lap 10 was like when our thing really started to really come alive. So I just knew starting 4th, really just need to manage the race as best I can and get to lap 10. And I knew we were going to be safe. And we were proving that for a little while. We were up to 2nd right there on the leader and got shuffled back. And then, I don't know. I guess we didn't quite have it there at the end.
It's a super dance, right?
Yeah,
you just never know. It's crazy. With the weather, you never know. The temperature-wise, when you go out, it's always you end up getting at least a good result. Overall, if you look at that weekend and go, man, I'll check that one off. That was a solid weekend.
For sure. The consistency was there throughout the whole week. It wasn't like we got pole and out of nowhere and faded in the heats. We were there the whole entire weekend. Everybody knew we were there.
Yeah.
I've run a number of different go-karts over the last few years and kind of bounced around a little bit, but it was a huge satisfaction to me going into that week. I didn't talk to many people say that I was coming or anything. And, they start asking questions. Oh, GFC this, GFC that. And I'm like, just watch. Just watch.
Yeah.
After qualifying, everybody was pretty quiet after that. So that was pretty cool.
Silence the detractors for sure. What do you got this year? I know if you get the full program you've got with Brancotti in the 6. What are you doing this year karting wise with Gary? When are we going to see you?
Karting wise, I'll be bouncing around here and there. Never won't be doing a full series anywhere.
It'll be a super nasty. He'll just show up like a guest driver showing up.
Look to do the Vegas races if we can. There's a couple tracks in the USPKS schedule I'd like to go GoPro, Road America. I'd love to see those places.
Nice.
Always like going to Newcastle. I felt really strong in NOLA last year. I'd like to return there this year. So, probably try and do maybe 2 out of 4 in USPKS and 2 out of 3 of the Pro Tour. But looking forward to it.
Over 25 years, I've been able to give lots of guys nicknames. I did not give you your nickname, the Shoe. It was actually Tim Chapman.
Yes, you did.
So we're going to give a shout out to Tim. Tim obviously had some issues, amputated leg. He's back home, probably tuning in. Again, he'll be taking my place here, actually, in Phoenix. I won't be able to be here for Phoenix. Chappie will be back. But I want to give him a shout out. I know, David, I'm sure you want to give a shout out to Chappie
I'll be happy to see him again.
Right?
It's been a while.
One of the best guys, man. Chappie,
sure.
hope you're well. Hey, congratulations. Looking forward to seeing what you can do this year. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
The Shoe, Jake Drew, joining us here on the Tent Talk. David, that wraps things up. You don't need to put that up there. We're done. Oh, what do you got? You're bailing out? You coming back? I like that.
It's just easier that way,
you
don't want to see people. Yeah. Don't look behind the curtain.
It's a transition.
Yeah, don't look behind.
All right, folks, we're wrapping things up here from GFC Karting. It was great for Gary and the crew to have us here. Again, our new Tent Talk series that we're doing, just to kind of bring us a little bit closer.
Hey, don't go in front of the camera. Come on out.
It's live. It's interactive. It's fun. For those of you tuned in, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
My son just messaged me that the audio was good. So
you gotta have somebody.
It's 9 o'clock. He's not past his bedtime yet.
Assistant producer.
Yeah, he can produce. He probably could get on here and help us out.
No doubt about that. Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us. It's going to be a great weekend. Follow us, of course, on eKartingNews.com. We'll have all the live audio on Saturday and Sunday from qualifying, pre-final, and finals. But again, it's been great to be here at GFC. You can see the karts behind us, very iconic colors. And I think that, Gary being one of the legends of our sport, who is now deeply into the industry, the colors and the designs you're going to see here are going to be iconic for the next decade or two. So it's great to get things rolling here again for the 2022 season, David. Karts look good. And they're fast. They're
fast in every category that they're in, pretty much
right.
too.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. And Jake's actually racing the 100, not the senior rock division. Yeah. So again, fast in the 125, fast in shifter, fast in 100cc, fast in the cadet divisions as well too. So fast across the board.
Folks, thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of everybody here from GFC Karting, David Cole, myself, Rob Howden. Bye for now.